Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Callysta from 11 Social Science 1 with the episode number 9. In this blissful occasion today, let me explain a little bit about hortatory exposition, starting from the definition, the generic structure, the social function, and the language features. And to summarize this, I will also identify the generic structure and the language features using the text I made a few days ago. Before going to the main event, let me share my deepest apologies because this video took a long time to make since I put a lot of efforts and considerations in it. Now, starting to the definition of hortatory exposition. A hortatory exposition is a type of spoken or written text that is intended to explain to the listeners or readers that something should or should not happen or be done. The social function, to persuade the reader or listener that something should or should not be the case or be done. Now to the generic structure. The first one, thesis or statement or announcement of issue concern. The second one is arguments, reasons for concern that will lead to a recommendation. The third one is recommendation or statement of what should or should be done based on the given arguments. And now to the language features. Though there are so many language features included in a hortatory exposition, on this video today I will only mention 4 of them. The first one is simple present tense, the second one is passive voice, and the third one is suggestion, and the fourth one is linking between arguments. Moving on to identifying the generic structure and the language features of the text that I've made before. The act to prevent corruption. Indonesia has come a long way to its independence after hundreds of years of colonization. Of course, a lot to forfeit and a lot to gird to be able for our nation to stand up at the notch of this. Not to mention the services of our heroes, ancestors, and everyone who took a big role as they have built the well-structured government to become a non-parallel paragon towards society. But what if, after years of independence, the government turns out to be filled with rats in tie or so-called corruptors pervading the chairs of politics? From this abstract, I firmly believe that in our generation, the discipline of candor and honesty is fundamental to prevent corruption in every aspect, especially in the government. Firstly, the importance of honesty is vital, not only to the government of the country we are talking about, but also to the effect of our daily life. With honesty, truth and relations can both be gained by ease. Secondly, as the money from corruption is undoubtedly taken from the people's money, shows how corruption is a big loss for the nation itself. By all means, the development of resources that should have been carried out was hampered due to a lack of funds, when in fact, the funds were there but were corrupted by the irresponsible party. Furthermore, in my analysis is that our country still has less assertive punishments for the corruptor, which makes them not deterred. As the leaders of a country who handle the government, being a good exemplar is already on the #1 list of their presidents. Also, in addition to being good exemplars, they, nor we, also have to be a good representative to show the young generations how to manage a well anti-corruption government. And by this, I think that we should fortify moral education for the upcoming generations, especially in the aspect of honesty. Nevertheless, on parts of external factors, in my opinion, it's better to apply further decisive sanctions to corruptors so they have a deterrent effect and that there is no reproach for the other party to make the same mistake anymore. It is time for the youth to express their democracy and for the government to be insightful in making decisions for the sake of anti-corruption government, also the development of our beloved Indonesia. After reading the text, the whole text, we're moving to identifying the generic structure and the language features of the text that I've read before. And as we can see here, the text consists of 3 paragraphs, and the first paragraph is of course thesis, because over here I put a background to a long way to get into my topic, and I put assertion here, which declares that I firmly believe that in our generation, the discipline of candor and honesty is fundamental to prevent corruption in every aspect, especially in the government. That works up to the topic, so I can conclude that this is the thesis. The next paragraph, the second paragraph, is arguments, of course. Why? Because inside the paragraphs, I put all of my argumentations here, using the linking between opinion or argumentations, which we can see in the yellow color is firstly, secondly, furthermore, and I put reasons of my argumentations here after the declaration. And the third paragraph, which is the last paragraph, is the recommendations, because over here I put some conclusion and a suggestion or a recommendation to the issue I'm talking about, and it is shown by the green color. I think that we should fortify moral education for the upcoming generations, especially in the aspects of honesty, and in my opinion, it's better to apply further decisive sanctions to corruptors so they have a deterrent effect, and that there is no reproach for other party to make the same mistake anymore. And for the language features, I use the code red, gray, yellow, and green, as we can see on the text. The red shows the passive voice, not to mention the services of our heroes, ancestors, and everyone who took a big role as they have built, using verb 3. The well-structured government, using past participle, and the sentences, the government turns out to be filled with rats in a tie, or so-called corruptors pervading the chairs of politics, also using past participle. The gray colored shows simple present tense. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 sentences that uses simple present tense in my text. And the yellow shows linking between arguments such as firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, furthermore, nevertheless, and blah blah blah. Those are linking between arguments. And the green one, finally, is suggestions. Where can we know it is suggestions? Because it is using the term I think that, in my opinion, we should, and blah blah blah. So that is all about the explanation of hortatory exposition in this video today. We've learned about the definition, the social function, the generic structure, and the language features, and we even read a text that I made, and we've identified the generic structure and the language features. So I'm really sorry if there is any mistake in this video today, because I'm also learning. I hope you guys learned a lot about hortatory exposition in this video that I've made. Stay healthy everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and peace out.